Hi everyone, Rebecca here from the Shipshape Shop. How are you doing? Bit of a weird old Monday. My previous stance on coronavirus stuff was that it is a storm in a teacup and it will all blow over. But like many of you guys, I'm starting to feel like it's encroaching on my world and making everything feel a little bit smaller and a little bit scarier. So I feel like my vibe today is not going to be my usual zippy one. Also had some news over the weekend that's really affected me, so I just really wanted to reach out to everyone before I start my video on bullet journaling and say hold your loved ones closer, because you never know when you won't be able to do that again. That's actually probably an appropriate segue into bullet planning and why I actually like it. So I thought today, because I'm not feeling like that, that I would do something a little bit more instructional. So this might be a longer video than usual, but I'm going to run through as much as I possibly can about bullet journaling, exactly what it is and what my method, which I like to call the Lazy Girls method, because I don't follow the bullet journaling rules to a T. And if you have kind of dipped a toe into bullet journaling and you're not quite sure what it is and you've gone, I'm a bit scared of that because it looks like there are too many rules, then this might be the video to help you realise that actually you don't need to do what everyone else is doing when it comes to bullet journaling. So, as I've mentioned a few times, I go through phases and I get addicted to things, and I must have all the resources to help me master those things, and bullet journaling was no exception. So I first heard about bullet journaling and naturally went to find a book on how to bullet journal, because that's the kind of nerd that I am. And I found this book. Now it's going to be backwards because I've got my screen mirrored, but it is called How to Bullet Plan, and it's written by Rachel Wilkerson Miller, and it's a really lovely practical guide that shows you the ins and outs if you want to learn a little bit more of the rules of bullet journaling if you want to go down that path. But the reason that I'm bringing this book up is because it's got a really lovely definition, which I don't want to take the credit for, of what exactly a bullet journal is. So it is the sweet spot between a planner, a to-do list, and a diary. Now it's backwards, but here you go, Venn diagram. Bullet journal sits right in there between planner, to-do list, and diary. And what a bullet journal actually is. So this is my current one by Frank Stationery. And what it is, I'm going to hold it up so you can see, hopefully, is instead of lines, they have what you call a dot grid. Hi, Sandra. So I'm going to hold that up so you can see, hopefully, lots of little dots on the screen. So all of the pages are made up of dots in the dot grid. And what I love about it, so I like to think of my precious bullet journal as the non-judgmental friend that when I see them and I haven't been in contact for 6 years, they don't say, hey, long time no see. This is the one that goes, hey, come in, have a coffee, great to see you, I love you, let's just pick up where we left off. That's what my bullet journal is like, because there are no, open it up, there are no dates on the pages. It is a blank slate apart from all of the dots. So if you like the idea of a physical journal or a diary or a planner or something like that, but you get scared because you have maybe had 20 of those in your lifetime, and you start with great gusto at the beginning of the year, and then you peter off around March and you stop keeping your diary, and then the rest of the months of the year kind of sit in the corner and go, ugh. You never call me, you don't text, you never write anymore. Then a bullet journal might be your best friend because you write in your own dates. So I'm just going to run through how I use my bullet journal, and I'll show you a past one so you can see quite how feral it gets. But at the moment, this is the starting page of my journal. So I use it for doodling. I'm not an artist. I probably couldn't draw an accurate representation of a dog to save my life, but I like to draw flowers. But I really love the practice of doodling, and I find it really, really good for mindfulness and therapy. And actually, when I get down into spreads further on in the video, you will see actually the meditative state that you might be able to get into just from ruling lines. So I use it to doodle. So whenever I start a new book, I like to doodle a little cover page, and it's very simple lettering and then outlined with a black pen, and then lots of little daisies in that example, and then some words that I'm using to guide me, which I don't mind sharing with you guys. My words for 2020 are enjoy and commit. So only do something if I'm going to enjoy it, and only do something if I'm actually going to commit to doing it. And then we get into the inner pages, so more doodling. And then this is what we call a weekly spread. So this is where the ruling of lines comes in with bullet journaling, where you work out how many spots you want to have on your page. I like to do a weekly spread that gives me a very quick overview of what I've got going on. This is from sometime in January. So that at a glance, if I don't manage to do anything else in my journal for the week, I can look at this view and go, cool, okay, I know what I've got going on these days, and these are the important things to remember. Now, the beauty of the bullet journal, thanks Sandra, they are good words, aren't they? The beauty of the bullet journal is that if that spread doesn't work for you, then you can turn the page and do something completely different. That spread actually did work for me, so here's one a few weeks later. But there's no problem with changing it up, because you've got a blank slate to draw on. So this is my current spread, for example. So I've changed it up, so I'm only using one page. So I've got my dates down the side, and I've got my times across the top. So I'm just trying this out to see how it goes, to see if it helps me keep track of everything that I've got going on. And then in between times, so those are weekly spreads. And then in between times, because you've just got blank pages, you can do whatever the hell you want. But I like to keep a little record of what's been going on. So, writing the date across the top, little doodles here and there, because that makes me feel happy. Another date, page divider here, and they're just little notes. Like for example, on Wednesday the 29th of January, I did a meditation, which I really loved. So I've jotted it down in here so that I can find it again and again and again if I want to do that specific meditation. Each day, every day that I write in my journal, I try to do a little doodle of a flower. Now, before you think that I am telling lies and that I'm an amazing artist by the state of my doodles, I'm not. I have this really lovely little book. You won't be able to read that because it's italicized and I can't read it. But it's called Illustration School, Let's Draw Plants and Small Creatures. And it is by a Japanese lady, Sachiko Umoto. And I love it. So this is my reference guide. If I'm wanting to do a doodle, then I go and kind of flip a page open and go, oh, that little bee guy looks cute. I'm going to draw that. And that's how I do it. So if you have looked at bullet journaling, if you've gone hashtag bullet journal on Instagram, then you might be under the illusion that it's an artistic tool. It's not 100% not. I am not an artist. So if I can find joy in my bullet journaling as a non-artist, then you can too. And that's it. I wrote a bad word in my journal, mindfuck. No one is going to judge me for that because it's my journal. But it really is. I just write notes, and then you'll see, because I'm very honest with you guys, that was the 3rd to the 9th of February. Filled in some things with my classic spread. Filled in a few diary days. Got to the end of that week, things were going good. What's that? Friday the 7th of February. I'm going to prove the point. And then I fall off the wagon, and all of a sudden it's the 24th of February. And I fill it in, and then, ye gads, it's this week all of a sudden, 16th to the 22nd of March. So what I'm getting around to, why I love bullet journaling, and why I think you guys might, if you are like me and really struggle with the structure of a normal daily planner, is that you can literally put it away and forget about it and not be feeling it, and then you can pick it up again, and not feel like a whole journal has to go to waste if you fall off the planning bandwagon. Now on this page, I'm just doing a quick read to make sure there's nothing I'm going to be embarrassed if I share about. Okay, so this page, this one here, this week, I'll read it out to you. You'll see that there are these boxes. So this is where it starts to get into kind of the rules of bullet journals, but it's not really rules, it's more just how to get the most out of your bullet journal. So this is where it becomes like to-do list kind of territory, and that's what I love my bullet journal for. So aside from doing my weekly plan, if I've got a lot on my plate, then I might make a to-do list, and I use the little dot grids to create squares, which then you can tick off if you follow the key, and you can create your own key about it. But this week, because this is going to be a busy one for me, I've got lots on, I've written, this week is busy, nothing more can go in. There's a maximum of 3 must-dos per day. Be kind and gentle with everyone, start with yourself. Focus on the present and stay in it. Grounding in gratitude daily. And my final note was, don't get pissy about COVID-19. So at the end of the week, when I look at my week in review, I'm not sure if I'm going to manage to fill in the pages that follow with little notes from each day. But at the end of this week, when I look at it, I can go, yeah, I did all of those things and tick them off. So in classic bullet journaling speak, you can do a monthly spread where you would draw up a calendar using the dot grids for the whole month and plug things in, and then you do a weekly spread, and then you do a daily spread. Now that's awesome for the people that want to do that, but I don't want to do that. That is too much structure for me, and I like to have a little bit more flexibility. So I simply use my bullet journal for notes and for doodling, and as I flick through my pages, let me just see if I can do it this way. As I flick through my pages, when I get to them, it gives me pleasure to look through and see the colour and all of those things as a nice reflection exercise. So that's my bullet journal for the year so far. I like to think that I'd get through that whole journal, but maybe I won't. And there's no pressure, because it doesn't matter if it's my bullet journal for this year and for 2021 and for 2050. Really, my bullet journal doesn't judge me. Can you say the same about your dated planner? This is my bullet journal from the last couple of years. So this is a beautiful one by Scribbles That Matter, which is a UK company. And I'm just going to hitcheroo so you can have a look. And that was where I got started. So doodling, lots of doodling, always doodling. Charts, weird drawings of peanut guys. But you can flick through and see that at the beginning of last year, I had lots of colour and lots of charts and everything. I don't know even know if you can see that. And then I started to use my bullet journal as my everything journal. So I carried it around and would take notes at meetings, and I would measure up. Here's an example of a client page. I would measure up client stuff. So it really just became a catch-all. So by the end of last year, my bullet journal wasn't looking very beautiful and pleasing to look at. So I'm trying very hard to resist the temptation to start using my this year journal for client stuff, so that I can keep it as like my beautiful sacred space. What is one last thing to say? You don't need much to start bullet journaling. So you can get bullet journals from lots of stationery stores. Whitcoulls sells some, or there is this beautiful shop, which I will, online store, which I'll put in the comments below, called Journal Junkies, which is a New Zealand company. Nancy is lovely, incredibly helpful if you've got questions. She's got a super amount of resources on her Instagram and on her website as well. So to get started, all you need is a bullet journal, a ruler, and a pen, and it's as easy as that. And if you want to go full nerd like me, then you can get other things like little doodle books to help you with your doodling, or a pencil case with coloured pencils and pens and all sorts to make it nice and pretty, and also washi tape. And because I'm an organiser and I'm like this kind of thing, I'm now going to expose to you the full extent of my bullet journaling collection, because normalising the things that you love and hanging on to them. This is my bullet journaling box. Can you believe it? So this has, it's just from Kmart, but it has my pens in it, my ruler, and all of the different kind of pens that I like to use, because I've got different pens for different things within my bullet journal, and my colouring pencils as well. So everything just tucks into that box, like so, and then I can put it away. It just lives under the couch. So I sit on the couch at night, pull out my bullet journaling box, and then I start to doodle and draw and make a note of the things that I've got going on. I've had going on today, and then have got going on the following day. And it is just really, honestly, nice, mindful practice. And when you've got a few things that are on your mind and you're feeling a little bit fragile is probably a good word, I really find that my bullet journal helps me work through that, or at least takes my focus away from that, even if it's just for 15 or 20 minutes while I'm drawing up my spread for the following day. So that was a very garbled introduction to bullet journaling. But I do urge you, if you think that it might be something that you'd like to have a go at, then Nancy from Journal Junkies is a great place to start. And like I said, I'll drop that in the comments below so you guys can go and find her. And also, if you're interested, that book, What is a Bullet Journal by Rachel Wilkerson Miller, is another good resource to start. You might be able to find it at the library or borrow it from a mate, if they are bullet journaling aficionados. So I don't even know how long this has been. I do apologise that I've rambled on about bullet journaling. Sorry, not sorry, this is my page. And if you would like to ask me any questions about my bullet journaling or my practice of how I do it, then feel free to drop them in the comments below. But I find it a really helpful tool for planning and for mindfulness, which is good for all of us in these worrying times. So I'm going to draw a close to it there, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, and over the next couple of days, I'm going to photograph some stuff from my bullet journal and put it on my stories. So keep an eye out if you want to see sneaky peeks at different spreads. And I will add it as a highlight so you can go check it out. Okay, I'll catch you soon. Bye.